I'm going to begin, Timothy, just, I mean, as an actor, I was just wondering, do you judge the people that you embody? I mean, when you're playing a character like David Irving, I mean, do you have to find a semblance of empathy and pity to portray him or not? What's the kind of relationship you have with the characters that you play?
I think the words that you've said are two very interesting things. Empathy and sympathy are two very different things. You know, empathy is seeing something from somebody's point of view, trying to put yourself in their position. Sympathy is feeling that you agree with them and understand it. So there are two very different things. And the route I took on this is empathy. Is however unacceptable his views are to many people, however upsetting, however repulsive to many people his views are, all the same, his point of view was that he had found something, a fact in life that, about something, a controversial and sacred memory, that he had found that history was wrong and that he wanted to, that he had a point there. So, so my objective view, one's objective view, feelings about it, you put to one side because that doesn't help your influence. Your job is to see it and to partner and then see what it feels like walking in that person's shoes.
And did you have any apprehensions when this was first kind of presented to you, this screenplay, despite how wonderful the screenplay is, just at portraying somebody like David Irving?
I did have apprehensions because of that, but obviously because of the responsibility of playing somebody who's alive. And somebody who still exists, whether the people like him or not, has feelings. I mean, I was very aware that, and given that the character is the antagonist in this, that you don't see it. You see him from Deborah Lipstadt's point of view. That makes the responsibility to in a sense see it from his point of view deeper and bigger and stronger because you don't get that. The narrative doesn't give you any backup to what his motivations might be. As I say, the film is based on Deborah's book and her experience. So again, the responsibility to try and flesh out a character that is representing the adversary in this is bigger than as if you were playing the hero.
And did you have any desire to meet David? Was there ever a time when you felt it would be quite important for you and your sort of preparation for this role to actually speak to him and ask him some questions?
Not really, because I don't think his advice was asked, and B, it doesn't have much of a leap of imagination to assume that he wasn't going to be forthcoming with something that was so much seen from somebody who beat him in a law case, So, no, I mean, I took it that in this case, what was on the page was all I had to work with. Anything else I found out would not have changed that because it's in there and there was anything, most of what is in that, apart from one or two things, is transcript from the trial. So obviously the distillation and the condensing of these things make it much more of a dramatic thing. Everything, evidently I had on good authority, was told that everything he says in that trial is what he said from transcript. So I took it from there,
And though, I mean, I sort of fundamentally disagree sort of absolutely everything he stands for. He's a very intelligent and quite charismatic man. How important are those two qualities, do you think, in having him as an antagonist in this tale?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's important because, obviously his vehemence in the belief of his own righteousness is enormous, and his expertise on Third Reich and so on and so forth are there are people who say that he has I didn't have a chance to read any of his books, but he was considered to be an authority and has researched very an area into the Third Reich and characters that often people think of and shudder, but he evidently knows and has looked into these things. So, and as you say, his knowledge of these and his ability to talk about them or understand them is very, unique. So, and also I've watched a lot of his, I did look at a lot of his speeches and so on and so forth. Well, I could get old of, not a huge amount, but long speeches, on YouTube and so on and so forth. And he's a very good talker. He knows how to hold an audience, and he knows how to put his views across. When anybody looks like they're convincing and are convinced, however toxic and unacceptable those views are to many people, it's an interesting thing, because they stick by what they believe in. They believe what they're saying is the truth. As to whether anybody else believes that or not is another matter.
I mean, this is an incredible ensemble cast, and talking of which, you're in Sally Potter's new one, The Party, which is playing at Berlin. I mean, I was wondering how you fit into that particular story, what we can expect from you in that movie.
Oh well, I don't know. I haven't been given the all clear to talk about that, but that is a very interesting. By dint of its title, it's called The Party, and it's about a party celebrating an opposition party that could be in England, is in England, who have, and it's actually a black comedy, an investigation of what starts out to be a party that goes terribly, terribly wrong, and is, in a sense, a comment about how a lot of the intellectual thought of the time, if it doesn't watch out, is eating itself. That's me speaking out of turn.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time today.
Okay.
Much appreciated.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!